All right, we just did a 3-hour react to a video in French, and that was only 44 minutes long. So hopefully this one won't be as long. This is from Big Fry, and I said initially, no, I don't want to react to a video like this. This seems pretty dumb, because it's probably just going to be another one of those. Wow, I played Star Citizen, so amazing. But I hear that my chat told me that he was like fairly critical of things. So I'm kind of curious, as somebody who is not always involved constantly, what that looks like, in the sense of like, hey, somebody who hasn't been around for a while, they come back, what do they see, what did they expect, how do they feel? And apparently they weren't like super duper happy, so that's kind of interesting. Again, this is from Big Fry. It says, I tried to play Star Citizen in 2026. I guess the title says I tried to play. God, if he came a patch ago, he probably would have liked it. But crafting is definitely a draw. But here, very curious. Only 10 minutes long. Let's see how this is.
Every year around this time, I am met with the unsatiable, unscratchable
I'll turn the volume
itch to go to space. And every year I'm left with the same conundrum. What space game trailer with a female narrator is going to interest me the most? You know the ones I'm talking about.
In space, every action has weight. Open a door, sit in a chair. Eventually, the animations will play.
Wait, he made this himself, right?
Traverse the galaxy, one loading screen at a time. Command legendary ships, some of which aren't finished yet, or won't be for another 15 years. But
Yeah,
please
okay.
buy them anyway. Experience true freedom within a carefully defined set of menus.
I'm not gonna lie, I keep getting the itch to play Starfield. Am I cooked? I never played it. Like I started playing it, but I never like even got remotely close to finishing it. I have the itch to like play through the story.
The universe is calling, but please be patient.
Yeah, you know which ones I'm talking about. And a community member and moderator reached out to me and said, hey, Star Citizen is in the best...
Wait, who? Like one of his community members?
Star Citizen is in the best... Hey, Star Citizen is in the... Yeah, you know which ones I'm talking about. And a community member and moderator reached out to me and said, hey...
So one of his community members reached out. Got it.
Star Citizen is in the best spot that it has ever been, and I want to take you on a nice curated journey to experience some of the new content. And
okay. It's either this Fire Phoenix or Flow Beatbox guy. That guy sucks, and he is not your friend.
And after going on this curated adventure and experiencing what Star Citizen has to offer in 2026, I was then left with an overwhelming sense of needing to uninstall that fucking launcher from my PC. We decided to opt into the Onyx space station mission, which...
Oh my god, why would you bring him to this?
Don't get me wrong, was a visual spectacle at 24 FPS. The lighting, the textures, the intricate layouts of this facility were actually fucking awesome. And as we descended further into the lower regions of this base, I descended further into fucking madness, with the AI combat feeling and looking like this.
Why does this shit look so low quality too? Everything looks really bad.
In the fuck?
I mean, that looked okay.
Never mind.
This, on the other hand,
Behind you, Frank.
Look out! What in the fuck? And now, don't get me wrong. 2 years ago, the AI was looking like this.
You're about to freeze me, by the way.
What in the fuck?
Like I said, server's broken. I can't sprint. You're about to
Somebody
freeze.
killed the city.
I did it. I'm sorry. I'm doing it.
All right,
I'd
let's
rather
get it done.
start from scratch.
All right, I'm alt F4ing.
Fuck that.
All
Fuck
right,
that.
here we go.
Wow.
when they said I'm doing it, they were literally quitting. Got it. He has Ashes of Creation on his computer. Rest in peace.
Ow. And I was told then that once server meshing comes into the game, none of these issues are going to matter. They're not going to happen anymore. The server meshing is what's causing the AI to be like this.
Yep, and I bet you it was your same buddy Flo Beatbox that told you that too,
You just
right?
don't understand.
Yeah.
And server meshing has come to the game. This was the huge update that every...
You know what's real? If you ever hear this big, I don't think you're going to, but if you do, they didn't lie. Because when server meshing first came in, the AI were actually pretty decent. The experience was pretty good. The servers were running really well. And then CIG just jammed more visual bullshit into the game, like what you're experiencing right now. And then everything sucks again.
Every Star Citizen fanboy was coping, was going to save the game, was going to make the game feel absolutely incredible when it gets there. It's going to change everything. And it still plays like total shit. We got to a point where these alien dogs started spawning and running around like an early access asset.
Oh my God. He didn't even have the bad experience where they launched you into the wall and through the wall.
Flip, desyncing all over the place. The AI human enemies there calling out to you that they're suppressing fire every 5 seconds.
Suppressing fire!
He's not even
Taking cover!
Laying down cover! Stepping out!
Where the fuck are they yelling from? Oh, right back here.
Me down! Here! Switching cover!
They're gonna pay for that.
Hold it! Look out! Under fire! Cover!
Oh, they got your cousin! Yeah.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
Suppressive fire!
Heal?
We're getting swarmed. Head towards me. There's an elevator coming down.
Laying down cover! I hear something.
Cover ourselves while.
Heal?
You're covered! Release down!
Just
the
T-posing, dude.
I'm dead.
Oh no. Very threatening stuff there. All the while I'm stressing in the middle of a gunfight trying to pick up a gun on the ground that has an entire animation tied to it, like that really fucking matters. It's like...
Oh, it does. To one person. The person who runs the company is the only one who fucking cares about that. Thank you for saying something like that, man. Holy shit.
This game tries its hardest to trip over itself, trying to have every bell and whistle in there from the jump. Everything you do has an animation tied to it, which simultaneously makes the game clunkier than trying to land a Boeing 747 in a Walmart parking lot. And the thing is, I can't even be mad at it because, like, the player base loves it. We were at a random space station and we watched this player just walk around.
No, they don't. If the player base is this one guy
Around the corner, aura maxing his ass off, walking as slow as could possibly be. I thought it was an NPC, but it's just some random player walking around like he owns the place, and he loves it. And the thing is, like, I'm not even mad at the game. When you look at the website and you see that they're very transparent about their funding, if all of this information is true, they've raised $964 million at the time of recording this video. And so when you look at the crowdfunding timeline, in the last week, the lowest amount of money they made on a day was $317,000 in a single day.
Yep.
With people buying ships in a game that barely functions as a video game. And
Yep.
when I say that, there are a lot of mechanics in Star Citizen that work very, very well. I think they're...
But they don't communicate to each other and they don't function together. And was it 2024 that you have a guy like Richard Tyler sit down and say, you know, we're putting everything together. That's what we're going to do. We're going to, you know, like he even made this motion, I think. And then they're not really doing it that much. Like we have it with crafting a little bit now, but not really.
Ship flight mechanics are fucking incredible. The game feels good when I'm flying between points. It's dope. They've completely reworked the inventory system. I'm not the biggest fan of this, like, you know, in real space inventory system. I find it, again, just another clunky mechanic that really didn't need to be reworked. Granted, their old inventory system was also dog shit. It's like they really just can't figure out how to make a solid, functional, but also not fucking clunky inventory system. But they got mining, they got bounty hunting, they have a whole, like, prison and, like, law system. All of the stuff that surrounds the off-planet shit, it's definitely pretty cool by comparison if you're talking about comparing to the ground shit. But realistically, the entire game just feels like it still needs like 4 to 5 years of development to even be worth actually playing.
Minimum, dude, especially with the pace that they're going on some of these like bigger features like engineering and crafting that are supposed to do all this tying of stuff together.
And after so many years in development, I'm trying to wrap my head around the timeline of...
Although the pace kind of feels good with crafting. We go from just FPS stuff to like literally almost everything in 4.8, so that's kind of nice.
When we're going to see this game finally get its shit together. And I'm still trying to figure out the over-under on whether or not Squadron 42 is going to be launching this year. At the end of 2025, in his letter to the community, Chris Roberts came out and said that the game is now playable front to back, and they've been playing through and doing sessions. And
so did their community manager in 2014.
Now they're working on polishing and optimization. How playable is playable, though? Because Star Citizen is playable, but I'll be fucked if I want to put more than an hour's worth of time into it.
Yeah.
And on a 40-hour campaign, there's a lot of work now that goes into. If it just became playable front to back, you still have all the optimizations, you still have a ton of polishing. I don't know if Squadron 42 is launching this year. The next Citizen Con...
Honestly, I kind of hope it doesn't.
Isn't until October of 2026. I can't imagine they're going to be releasing this game around the same time as GT.
The crazy thing is they haven't said anything about CitizenCon. This is the latest they've done an announcement ever. It's clear that they're waiting for Squadron 42 announcements, and it's clear that Squadron 42 doesn't feel like it's ready, so they're not giving an announcement on a date for CitizenCon because they don't have a date for Squadron 42. You know what I mean? Like, it's all very obvious what's going on right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But every time I get told to go back and check out Star Citizen, it's been a while, Big Fry. The game's in a much better spot than the last time you played.
It is. The last time he played, it was a steaming pile of dog shit. It's a few degrees less hot now.
It's always fucking ass. And it comes a point in time where, like, I feel like people need to start asking questions like, bro, $1 billion in crowdfunding, 12 plus years in development, and we're still sitting here in like pre-alpha / tech demo territory. Not all of the features are in the game yet. We haven't even hit to a point where we can even be looking at some potential sort of beta. What the actual fuck is going on? And when I ask these questions, I'm always met with
this video is so fucking amazing because it's literally me every single day, and then every single day it's literally me getting fucking shit on for having these opinions.
Well, I mean, there's no other game like Star Citizen,
Bro,
and that
just
is
stole your takes. No, he didn't steal my takes. He's just a normal fucking person that has eyes.
Absolutely, that is true. There is no other game on the market like Star Citizen. But in terms of actually taking this vision and fucking hitting it out of the park and bringing it home, like when? What timeline are we looking at? Because every single time I have heard a timeline, it's been bullshit. And then when those updates do eventually come, they're half-assed, or there's another excuse, or there's another reason why this mechanic doesn't work yet. But well, because we're waiting on this, and it's been a fucking shit show for over a decade. But I'm an outsider, right? I'm not in the forums. I don't have $10,000 in ships. I'm just somebody who desperately wants to play a game like Star Citizen. But every time I play it, I see that there's been focus placed in areas that don't make fucking sense to me. And so I wanted to make a video. I have a lot of people that always ask me about Star Citizen.
Dude, I just took that in. I just took all that in. And I have no notes. That was like getting a massage.
The itch to jump in recently, and man, I was recording. I was hoping that the op was going to be actually pretty decent. I hadn't played since before server meshing, and the last time we played, it was a fucking disaster. And so I was like, there's no way it could be worse than that. And even though it might not have been worse,
it sucks because if he did this like a patch or two ago, he would have been fine.
Still wasn't any fucking better after 2 years. So I don't get it. So,
he would have been more fine. The AI still would be horrible.
Star Citizen fans, enlighten me. What the fuck is going on over at
Squadron 42? That's it. Like, honestly, it's just Squadron 42. The guy, Chris Roberts, when does he talk about Star Citizen? When do you see him around? He's literally not around, dude. I'm sorry, but there is a 0% chance that he doesn't have enough time to take an hour out of his day to talk about Star Citizen a few times a week or a month or a year. Now, I've said Chris should never be talking because he's a wild dreamer and a fucking clown when it comes to what he says, because he's got no filter and he just sets expectations that are unrealistic for the fans of the game, while trying to set the expectations really high for the studio to actually get shit done. So, you know, the two things are not, they're never going to work with each other. But the idea of, I think, Squadron 42 being the entire priority this whole time and nobody really giving a shit about Star Citizen and just doing enough. Star Citizen, and I will say this over and over and over again, is literally just a test track for your spaceships, for you to feel, and now your armor and your weapons that you buy for real money, for you to feel cool and feel like your purchase was valid. That's what it is. It validates the purchases that you made on the website, but it doesn't represent a good, cohesive video game, MMO, anything that CIG is setting out to do right now. And I don't know how far away it's going to be. The money, yeah, and the money goes to Squadron 42. It is literally an advertising funding platform to finish Squadron 42 for the moment. What happens after that? Who knows? Does Chris, Sandy, and Aaron, do they retire? And they're old, right? I'm fucking old. They're older than me. Do they retire and just give up at that point? Like, what happens after the release of Squadron 42? Like, do a bunch of devs leave, right? Like, I have no idea. But what happens? So, like, when he goes, hey, Star Citizen fans, what the fuck is going on? All hands on deck on Squadron 42. And just enough hands on deck to maintain this and keep people's interest in this for right now. But the focus is not on delivering an experience in this game, and your friends that are telling you to check this out are not your friends. They're trying to validate their purchases, I feel like.
CIG. When do you think Squadron 42 is going to be launching? And do you think that when that game launches, that all of those people that were working on Squadron 42 are going to shift over to Star Citizen so we can start seeing some actual fucking...
No. They will leave the company and go get promotions at other gaming companies. That's usually what happens. You finish, like, correct me, there's a few devs in the chat. You ship a product that is a promotion, like, machine for you, basically, to be able to go to another company and say, look, I shipped this. This is what I worked on. Here's my work. You know, it's a good thing to use to move up. And yeah, we'll see. Some people will obviously move over and want the challenge of Star Citizen. Ask Will Meme for Food about it. Yeah, he worked at CIG, but he left a long time ago. But yeah, it's my understanding from other developers that you use it to build a portfolio. But yeah.
Progress in the places that matter. Where are we at? Sound off down below. As always, my name is Big Fry. I'm disappointed that Star Citizen is still in the rough state that it's in. There's clearly been progress in ways, and there's clearly been focus placed in places that maybe I disagree with. And by every metric, you know...
I wonder what the things he disagrees with are, because I didn't really recognize what he... he didn't say any of those.
You talk about the financials, you talk about the community engagement. These guys are succeeding. They're fucking succeeding hand over fist. As a video game, as a product, I still don't...
They're failing miserably.
Get it. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts. As always, my name is Big Fry, and I'll see you on the next one.
Oof. That was way more heavy-handed than I was expecting. I feel like I watched a video from him from a long time ago, and he was like, this is amazing, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting here being like, oh, Jesus Christ, here we go. Another guy who came in and is like, this is the coolest thing since sliced bread, and it just, like, isn't. But, yeah. That was just refreshing. Everything about that was refreshing. Because you just get the fair weather people that come here and are like, oh, visually, it's so stunning. And they just ignore everything else. Like the picking up the gun thing. Like the fact that he just points something so little like that out, that's so tiny for like all the problems that we have, but he touches on that, and that is exactly the type of thing that you need an outsider to expose to the devs that are just blind to just how horrible of an experience they've created because they've been doing it for so long. That was great.